The film Barbie was a Hollywood blockbuster that opened in Japan on August 11th, 2023, after a controversy over the atomic bomb memes that linked the film with Oppenheimer, another movie that chronicled the creation of the nuclear weapon. The film Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and directed by Greta Gerwig, was a fantasy comedy that sent the iconic doll into real life. It topped $1 billion in global box office, making Gerwig the first female filmmaker to surpass that benchmark as a solo director. In Japan, the film grossed $3,883,578 as of August 15, 2023. The film received positive reviews from Japanese fans who praised the pink world of Barbie and the message of self-discovery. The film Barbie received 8 Oscar nominations for the 2024 awards show, including Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, and 2 Best Original Songs. However, the film's director Greta Gerwig and star Margot Robbie were snubbed for Best Director and Best Actress, respectively, despite receiving critical acclaim and several nominations from other awards shows. Some fans and celebrities were outraged that the film's director Greta Gerwig and star Margot Robbie were not nominated for Best Director and Best Actress, respectively. They argued that this was a sign of sexism and bias in the Academy, especially since co-star Ryan Gosling was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Some also pointed out that the film's feminist message was ignored or misunderstood by the voters. However, others defended the Academy's choices and said that there were other deserving nominees, especially women of color and international filmmakers, who should not be overshadowed by the Barbie backlash. Watching the film Barbie in a country like Japan, which has different perspectives from Western countries on political, cultural, and gender issues, I would like to suggest that there is something to note of the film that is worth a certain angle of introspection that may or may not have been raised yet, as far as I know. If you've seen or heard my suggestions of the film Barbie elsewhere and agree or disagree with my thoughts on the film, please share your comments in the comments section to add to this conversation. Being in Japan, listening to the debates in Western countries about the film Barbie in terms of feminism and gender issues, I couldn't help but be influenced by what I heard while I watched the film through that lens. After that initial viewing of the film, I felt that there was enough in the film to support both sides of the argument, which reminds me of a great quote on writing from David Fincher, the director of great films like Seven and The Social Network. The thing I always say to any writer that I'm working with is, just make sure that in every argument, everyone is right. I want every single person arguing a righteous side of the argument. That makes for interesting drama. This is one of the best things to keep in mind when writing, isn't it? So, with lines like the one said by the character of Ruth Handler, played by the actor Rhea Perlman, near the end of the film, being human can be pretty uncomfortable. Humans make things up like patriarchy and Barbie just to deal with how uncomfortable it is, and then you die. As well as Barbie's decision to leave her perfect world of Barbie Land to become human and live in the real world, there was no denying, as far as I'm concerned, that there was something else going on in the film than what I was hearing from other countries. Speaking of countries, Japan is a unique country in that, for the most part, it is not a deeply religious country, although Japanese culture is primarily influenced by Shintoism and Buddhism. Through this lens, there are some apparent connections between the film Barbie and Buddhism, and I am most certain that I am not the only one who saw these parallels while watching the film. My appreciation for the film Barbie has grown since I first saw it and looked at the film as a story of enlightenment rather than a political or cultural statement. The film Barbie does have parallels with the Buddha's journey to enlightenment. For example, Barbie and Buddha both leave their perfect and sheltered worlds to encounter suffering and reality in the outside world. Barbie and Buddha both question the meaning of life and death and seek for answers and wisdom. Barbie and Buddha both learn to overcome their ignorance, attachments, and stereotypes to discover their true selves and potentials. While the film illustrates Buddhist concepts of suffering, impermanence, non-self, and enlightenment, these concepts are human concepts, shared and experienced by all of us, regardless of what we identify ourselves to be. Furthermore, the changes that characters such as Barbie and Ken in the film parallel the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism and the Eightfold Path. Four Noble Truths being the first Noble Truth that life is full of suffering, which includes pain, dissatisfaction, and impermanence. The second Noble Truth that the cause of suffering is craving, which is the attachment to things, ideas, and habits that are impermanent and unsatisfactory. The third Noble Truth is that the cessation of suffering is possible by letting go of craving and attachment. The fourth Noble Truth that the path to the cessation of suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path, which consists of 8 aspects of ethical and mental development. Right view, understanding the reality of things, especially the Four Noble Truths. Right intention, having a sincere and wholesome motivation for one's actions. Right speech, avoiding lying, slander, harsh words, and idle chatter. Right action, refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and harming others. Right livelihood, earning a living in a way that does not harm oneself or others. Right effort, cultivating positive states of mind and abandoning negative ones. Right mindfulness, being aware of one's body, feelings, thoughts, and phenomena in the present moment. Right concentration, developing a focused and calm mind through meditation. I am most certain that if you watch the film Barbie or have watched the film Barbie and know some basics about Buddhism, you will see these parallels of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path in the film. Watching the film Barbie through this lens, I was disappointed that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie were not at least nominated for the Oscars of Best Director and Best Actress respectively. Ms. Gerwig crafted a film that told a circular narrative that had the characters delve deeper into their own sense of self and non-self through adventure and comedy. Knowing how difficult it is to reach a large consensus on comedy despite cultural differences, the success the film Barbie has achieved to garner fans in many countries like in the US and Japan, Ms. Gerwig and Ms. Robbie are more than deserving of nominations for Academy Awards, at least in my opinion. Furthermore, has there been a film, at least in recent times, that has had so many people talking, with so many different interpretations and opinions of the film's meaning and messages, like the film Barbie? One of my own personal takes on the film, along with its Buddhist parallels, is the underlying yet seldomly practiced rule concerning relationships. Always leave things better than you found them. I'd love to hear what you thought of the film Barbie, whether you liked it or not. I believe films like this should be talked about more to better articulate not just what we are, but what we are not and what we can be. Do you think Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie should have had Oscar nominations? If they did you think they would have won? What other films do you think were deserving of nominations but didn't get them? Personally, I think Godzilla Minus One in black and white was the best cinematic work of art this year, and Barbie was the undisputed cultural phenomenon of 2023. For a film to do that, it should garner more nominations during awards season. Please post in the comments what films from 2023 you would recommend watching, as not many films reach Japan. For example, there is no news on whether or not Oppenheimer will ever come to Japan, though I think it is most unlikely. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I wish you all the best in everything you do, day by day. Thank you so much for visiting the right table. Have a great day.